again, you guys. How you doing? Another end to a weekend, another Sunday down, um, and another show to go. So I'm going to keep it a little short this time. I have some dinner plans and such with the family, but we'll sit here. We'll chit chat for a little bit, probably about an hour or so, and then I'll have to call it quits. I know sometimes I'll go longer, but as for today, that's kind of what I'm going to do here. So welcome everybody. Glad you're here. Um, we did our normal live show from the coffee shop, and basically today we just did a lot of talking on about Necromunda since Clint got that, and Keegan's going to do the squats, as most of you guys know, and I'm going to do the enforcers. So I got my book, but there's a lot of training that came in the box, so Clint's doing that. Now, we have a lot of 40K training in general anyways, just by acquiring sets, But this Necromunda train is different. It's more of an outpost kind of a train, and so, yeah, it's kind of cool. It looks kind of cool. With that said, today, as I sit here waiting for everybody, I'm going to go ahead and I'm finishing working on, because I've got two figures done with the Zombicide, and I was working on the Abomination. And I apologize if you can hear, of course, somebody's deciding to do their riding lawnmower out here when I do the show. Why not? I mean, why not do it the rest of the week? We're just going to do it right now. So, yeah. I think I could add the camera here for that. And let's see. That'll bring it up somewhat there. And so that's kind of what I'm going to do while I'm sitting here talking with you guys. Let's look at that added. It's going to load up. Only takes a couple seconds. And boom. And we're going to downsize. This is way too big. There we go. So let's see here. Oops. Yeah. I do drink coffee. The cups aren't empty. It's my thing. It's my Star Wars cup. So, this here is the Abomination. This camera does not show everything the way I'd like it to, so I'll have to eventually get that replaced. A lot of light. He's a big fat guy. I don't know why they always have to have stomachs with teeth, and that seems to be something that designers of every game just can't get around. I don't know why we can't just make him a gnarly monster, but we are. I kind of don't like it. To me, it's But the thing itself is pretty big. So I've got the Abomination White on it, which is out of the paint set. And I'm using that Tentacle Red and the Xenos Carpets. That would be the tentacles, although this is not a kind of red. It's more of a pinkish red. But I think once I darken it up with some, I'm going to darken it up probably with the, they have Invader Shader, which to me is, that's their backwash. So we'll see. We'll see how it comes out, but I figure, why not? I'm sitting here and get some stuff done for a little bit. Just going to touch up just a couple spots on the skin, because on some of the skin I'm using is some flesh tone. So it took a lot of the white, so I could see the white going quickly on the Abominations. But this is just your basic skin tone from Vallejo. And it's a good skin tone to use. I like, because I'll use the European flesh from Battlefront. Works good. Or I'm going to try some of this over. But I wanted to give it two different different things. Like I wanted the hands to be the flesh tone. And I'll put the shade all over this. And then the nails, this is car space they have, and these horns. Um, I like the fact that he's a big guy. Um, the tentacles, well, it makes a little bit of a pain to try to paint around somewhat. But I look at it this way: when I paint, I don't always worry about like I'm painting, and then I just, if I make a mistake, that's okay because I'm going back anyways, and I'll do final touch-ups. And oh, hey, mini Wormut slacker. Ugh. Not all of us have people that can paint for them, sir. I'm trying. So I've got 2 figures down, and I'm working on him. But that abomination white, boy, I don't know. We're gonna have to see what it looks like. But I like my green. Um, I think that's coming out good. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing now. Mini Wormut is. It's been a long, crazy day for me, so I'm just doing little bits of touch up on this before I start shading things, because as you paint, you know how that goes. You go back and see spots that overlapped or need to be touched up. So that's kind of what I'm doing, is touching up some of the areas that when I was painting, I see that, could be the seams and stuff could be a little neater. So that's what I'm doing. What are you doing, Mini Wormut? I know you got lots of miniatures to paint yourself. Oh, okay. You're about done with the Tales of Horror. Clear the table, do it again. Alrighty. Alright, that's good. So I wanted to get this guy done so I could put him in a game. Just to see, but probably more pickier than I need to be, I guess, but that is me. Like getting in between his toes so that their lines are as cleaned up as I can get them. So when you're looking at it, then at least I know it's done. I understand that some of the tentacle stuff, I wish it was separate from the hands, but and then having 2 mouths, I mean, I go back when I'm done shading it and I'll paint the teeth. Your halflings crew became dog chow. Yeah, I bet. How'd those zombie dogs do? Because they sound to me like they'd be a tough to beat, sir. Yeah, Mini Wormut's always coming up with cool things for the Zombicide game. Um, I'm just trying to get by with very little Zombicide and see what I could do with the very little teeny tiny bit that I've got. Um, Thankfully, I don't think I have to paint the doors at all. I think the doors are good. And there we go. I know, Mini Wormut, before you say anything, not too many people are going to turn it over. I know. But I want to get stuff done so when I put the shade on him, it looks like it's supposed to. So I've got, well, like I said, the lighting on this camera sucks sometimes. The hands are going to be like a flesh color. And then you got the tentacles coming out, and then the nails I'm making the same color as his skull and jawbone, his teeth. I'll go back and put something that looks like teeth on there. The tentacle part, though, coming out in between the fingers is kind of made it a little bit of a pain. But we'll see when I start putting that shade on there what it does. And then the bases, when I'm done, I'll probably just touch them up and make them gray. don't think I'm gonna apply any kind of basing or anything. Back to the drawing board, huh? Kind of hard to begin a campaign. Well, but zombicide's not supposed to be easy, right? So if they get killed right off the bat, then they get killed right off the bat. So yeah. But can you use your zombie dogs when we get off that train? If you're going to do that, you got to warn me and McMurray that, something might happen. Because I don't see our cowboys surviving them, And going back to the drawing board is good because then, you just got to test play stuff. Wait till you start playing Fallout and start going through how that works. Hey, Mainworm, you know how you have your official paint water cups and whatnot? I have a baby coffee cup, an espresso shot cup. Just don't want to drink it. And it works good for me. Yeehaw. So I'm wondering how these paints are going to work out. I guess I should show it up here so people don't, start making snarky comments. Get the wrong idea. But that's okay. There we go. Not so. Let's see if that helped any. Yeah. I think I got too much light coming out. It casts shadow all over me, like dark. And then if I put something up because they're LED lights, it's like it makes it too bright. Like my rust stuff, it comes out looking different. I'm not sure if I should use some of that Agrit's Earthshade, but I'll try. I'll try their version of Nolan Oil, which is Invader Shader. But it's all just watered down black paint. So. Oh, wow, that's pretty thick. I wonder here, where did my handy dandy needle go? Handy dandy needle. But yeah, get yourself to the drawing board and figure it out. I think you're going to be good. You've got some good ideas there, Mainworm. So, usually everybody goes, "What are you doing, Greg? What are you working on?" Well, now I'm going to work on something. We'll see. Ooh, that's pretty thick for a shade. Holy cow. Huh. I wonder if it needs to be shaken more. Well, I guess. Ooh, that is dark. Now, here goes a test spot. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work so well. Try some of this. You can't tell me what may or may not happen. Yes, you can. It's called insider information. They do it in the stock market. Well, at least the elite can. But you can do that with the gaming. Oh. It never fails, you guys. People call me when I'm on a live stream. Let's see how some of this works. This Agrix ass shit. Let's see. Do a test spot. Yeah, it's going to make him look dirty for sure. I wonder. Pull it out of the seams there and see it's light. It's a nice thing. You paint a big area, you can just go over it. Don't like it. Um, yeah, it gives them a pretty brown, dirty look. I wonder if flesh tone would be a little better. Oh, this might work out good when it dries. I don't think it's going to work out on the skin so much, but we'll see. Nah, I'm going to use the flesh tone on the skin. That's a big difference. This might work for this dude. Just have to really move it around, thin it out, and not let it set too heavy. Although it's going to find those cracks pretty good. So yeah, I mean, I'll figure it out this way and see how well it works out. Looks like it'll be okay. We're just gonna have to most definitely on this one, with that white, push it around a lot. Yep. So I don't want it to set too heavy. Don't want it to set too heavy. Now it's starting to come along, sir. Filling in those pitted areas pretty good. But anyways, you guys, that's kind of what I'm trying to do. Get some of this done. I mean, it's going to add a different color, so we'll see. Probably have to just see how it dries out on here, mini warmer, but I think it's going to be all right. But on the hands and the feet where I've got the skin stuff, I'm going to use the flesh tone because it's definitely going to just look better. So lesson one, official paints may or may not be the greatest thing on this set. But one never knows till you try. Got to give it a shot and see. Because this is what I was going to hit my stormtroopers with too, just to kind of dirty them up. So might be a bit much for them though. Also, but at least I can get him thrown out there to play with. Well, one drawback to these mini Warmutt, because they're already on the base, trying to get down and underneath and around on stuff, it's not fun. And I am waiting for that game to go forward, so when it's ready, you let me know. This stuff flows really well, though. It's not too thin, and it's working pretty good. Looks like it'll be okay. Guess that's the one thing with the models. If it's not, you can just repaint them. Although that's a pain. Yeah, this will kind of dry okay for him. Probably should have used the skin shade. Probably. So on some of the other ones, I guess, that come in the box set, I'll do them up like with the white, but maybe I'll try just shading them with all skin shade. See how that works. Doesn't hurt to try. I just don't want too much of it sitting in the sitting in the grooves. I'm going to try, sir. It's pretty much done except for some spots I gotta touch up, but I can't do some of that till I'm done, so I can get to it. So yeah, I'm gonna try to have him done tonight. Then I'm doing a little video on each of the figures there, so I can show them off. I think I'll go ahead and do it with my other camera though. This camera I can't complain. I've had it a long time. It's worked well, but anymore it just doesn't really show things very well. Um, you know, that's what I'm saying. On the feet, I'll put flesh tone on that, and on the hands, in the tentacles too. See if it changes them, because I don't think their colors doesn't look like the box. Like you're looking at the box art. And well, hello, Charles. How are you doing, sir? Glad you stopped by. Just painting an abomination from the Zombicide Invader series. Um, but I do like the way the little spikes on his back came out. So I don't think doing a video with this camera is going to cut it. I think I'll do it with my other one, so I can show it a bit better. Oh well, but you make do with what you got, right? And like I said, I've had it for a while, so I got my money's worth out of it. Well, I'm good. How are you doing tonight, Charles? Are you having a good evening? Good afternoon? Hope so. It's been busy for me, but I got a family dinner thing I'm doing. When I'm done with the show here, so may as well try to get what I can done. Well, I can. Well, hello, Dee. How are you? Dee was at the coffee shop today. She's painting some figures and putting them together for Necromunda, Ash Waste, that Clint got. And her characters ride giant bugs, something you might like, Mini Wormut, because they're creepy looking bugs. Kind of like, I don't know, cross between Tyranids and the Stormship Trooper spider-like things. They're kind of cool looking. And her characters not only get to ride them, but mount weapons to them. So it isn't just a bug; it's an armed bug, which just makes it even nastier. And most definitely, it's hard to get to some spots on these. So, but that's good. Makes it hard that way. but the shade will work out pretty well, I think. It's starting to, anymore, Marmot. Starting to. Remember, I haven't shaded any of that, so we'll see what this looks like when it dries. Pull some of the heavy stuff off. I think it'll be okay. I mean, he looks like he crawled out of a planet. All right, Charles, you did some videos. Checking your mail. Yep. Those are fun if you can get them in there. My problem is time anymore. I'm generally pretty busy. But usually I get stuff done throughout the week as I go with the miniatures. Not as fast as maybe some other people. We're not going to mention names anymore, but that's okay. I do what I can as I can. And that's about it. That's all you can do. I think it's coming out okay, Mini Warmut. It's gonna look okay, I think, when it's done. And I think the flesh tone shade on the tentacles is going to be better than their shade and this here. This here just makes him look like up close, like he's been crawling around outside the airlocks, which is what you want, because that's where he's mostly hanging out. I'll have to see what the other abominations look like on this, because I don't remember exactly, but this is its own little set. Yeah, backing your stuff up's a good idea there, Charles. Never hurts. Technology fails so much that they have IT departments. I talk with people in my line of work sometimes. They're like, I don't understand why it failed. And I'm like, there are IT departments that make billions of dollars because technology fails somewhere every minute of every day. So backing stuff up is a good thing. However, if you're going to upload it to YouTube and all that, that's, it's going to stay there also, unless you're worried about them taking it down. They do tend to do that sometimes. Yeah, trying to get some light out of the creases so it's not too heavy. You got some rules to read? Yeah, reading rules is sometimes tedious, but needs to be done. Thankfully, a lot of them are just, they're all kind of similar. And they're all just different versions of what's out there. Some rule systems are better than others. But got to get the rules down to play too, so that's okay. Yeah, I have to do some with those stupid teeth they put down here. guess I'll have to paint these. His tentacles coming down out from the jaw. So yeah. Oh yeah, school. Yeah, Grandpa's taxi service. I know. My granddaughters come to my house in the morning, and they get on the bus before I go to work, and then in the afternoon they come over. They get dropped off here at the bus stop because it's right where I live, which is kind of cool. I get to see them. The only problem is sometimes they think I'm rich, and I'm not rich. So it's like, I want this, I want that. I'm like, but I don't have, I can't do that, you know. But I know all about that, sir. Yeah. Well, see, the inside of his mouth is already like a flesh color. I put the flesh paint in there. So what do you think now, Mini Wormut? You said dough, but I don't know what you said dough to. So now, let it dry for a couple seconds, start shading up the hands and see what it does. Oh, I don't lose hope, Mini Wormut. I'm good. But if you're going to go ahead and get your game uploaded to YouTube, go ahead and do that, man. It's all good. I'm going to be a little bit short on it tonight, anyways, because of dinner plans. But I'll send some more pictures once all this skin tone is put on and died down. I'm just trying to figure out if I paint these two tentacles the red. I guess I could. They kind of come out of his face and back in. I have to see how that works. I'll figure it out. I'll put some pictures in the chat when I'm done for sure. But have a good night, man. Take it easy. That's all we can do sometimes is take it easy. Later, Mini Wormut. And Charles, enjoy spending time with the kids, man. Well, they're kids. It's always fun. Let's see here. Oh. Oops, I dropped that. Just a second. I really like using this skin shade from Flames of War. It just really looks good on stuff. So I'm going to test it out now. And do that and see how that works. And a little bit of this stuff goes a long way. Yeah, much better. do underneath his hand too. Well, let's see here. Yeah, it's going to work out better. Much better. And the tentacles are going to look good with it too. There we go. I'll try to show it off here in just a second. But it sure is making a difference there. For sure, for sure. There we go, painting his zombicide figure. Got a better way to do it now. Ah, yeah, they put everything through the dice tower. And you know what, Charles? My grandkids make me smile too. I mean, it's cool. They make your heart feel good. They sure do. Try to adjust it a little more. Probably a little bit darken that up when it dries. That's going to work though. Yeah, they do like the dice towers. That is for sure. Two of my granddaughters is almost 12 and 10, and they will play like the games. They'll play the miniature games, and they actually paint. They got their own miniatures here that they paint, so that works out pretty good too. I think that's pretty cool that they do that. Although they do have some expensive tastes in miniatures, I will say that. There we go. That's going to look better. Show better. Okay. Gonna have to go over it with a second coat though. The feet are very prominent on this. It's not like you can get away with anything on it. But that's okay. Half the fun of painting some of these things is trying to figure out how to make it work. So what are your favorite things you like to do, Charles? What's some of the things that games you're interested in there? We're kind of interested in all sorts. We like tabletop gaming in general, and yeah, gonna have to do some touch up with this dude. Little bits here and there. But most definitely that skin shade is much better. Huh? Guess I can let that dry and see how it turns out. Oh wow, okay. Now medieval stuff is pretty cool. Some of the historical things I wanted to get into. I don't really have too many people to like game with them, but some of the historical stuff looks pretty good. Mini Wormont, I might get some. He's got Napoleonics. Oh, Wiley Games. Yep, I was out there, Kansas City, Missouri, at their show. When was that? March or May? Like just a couple months ago. And yeah, so Fistful of Lead is a interesting rule system that you can use with different games, and so it opens up more for people to game with. So it's pretty cool. I got the two rule books that I got. What do I got? I got the Fistful of Lead, and it's Wasteland Warriors rule book. Oops. So use those, and I got a blast template when I was out there from them and picked up some miniatures. So a couple of them like Western themed for some of the games. So that should be kind of cool. Oh boy. Let's see how to get to where I missed. I missed under an arm there. Jeez. It's going to be a pain. Let's see. Good thing is this stuff all dries fairly fast, so you're not trying to go forever. Miniatures I like. I got into them with like tanks and stuff, and I've gotten into miniatures over the years. I'll do Warhammer too a little bit. Um, Warhammer is a more complicated for somebody who's never done it to get into, um, and some of it is a little more difficult to learn. But there's a lot of people that we hang out with that can answer about any question on that. So fortunately, there's a lot of people that do know and have a vast amount of knowledge of the game. So that helps too when you're looking around trying to figure something out. There we go. A couple little spots I missed, easier to see when it dries. But it is a good rule system there for sure. And the show was fun. I had a lot of fun at the show. So did one of the people in the group, Keegan, that went with me. He's my daughter's boyfriend. He went, and we had quite a bit of fun um, at the show out there. So definitely going to go again when they do it next year. We're going to go. It was worth it for us. It was a 5-hour trip, but it's 5 hours getting out of the house too. So it's all good. There we go. Some of these are a little hard to reach on this figure, I'm telling you. That works. That will work. I found a spot I can kind of get an even line there. Lo and behold. There we go. And I guess it'll look a little better that way. Then I'll have to figure out something to do with the teeth. I'll let that dry. There we go. So far, it's starting to come along. Look like a... Oh, okay. So you were doing... See, I didn't get a chance to do a lot of the hex gaming. There's so many games out there, Charles, that it's just insane. It's just a lot. It's like the golden age of gaming. So, and with that said, I'm just trying to stick with some of the ones I got to get the systems down better and condense. I have been condensing some of the things I do game with down to a much more manageable kind of pile, which is what needed to be done. And so I didn't get a chance to get into hex games, but McMurray's a cool guy, and I met them at the show, and then I've gamed with McMurray here on this service with Mini Warmut. So McMurray's a really nice guy. I like him. I had fun gaming with him, and I had fun when I met him. So, and Jay, I met him, and I met his wife out there. All good people. I mean, I had a blast. We're going to go back again. It was a rule system I wasn't really familiar with when I went out there, and it's a rule system that's pretty good, and you can have a lot of fun with different. I mean, you don't have to stick with one thing. You can pretty much do whatever you want, and it gives you options. You know what I mean? They had a big Star Wars table set up, and they did a lot of gaming with Star Wars, and that was quite impressive. And it was really neat. So I mean, I didn't get to learn much on it there because the guys with Keegan, he was doing the gaming, and I did a lot of the live streaming and stuff like that. So, but Mini Warmut's a fun guy too. He does a lot of trash training. He's really good at Zombicide. He's the one that got me into Zombicide. And so now my only problem is trying to find the time to paint them. And then when you start painting them, I maybe I get too overboard, I guess, but I just want to be as nice as possible. Like, I think this guy will be okay. Once the flesh dries on the hands a little bit, might need to go over it again. But that'll work. Now I just got to do something with the teeth. My only gripe about this figure is, to me, this is just dumb. So what are you going to do? You got a bunch of intestines with teeth. I mean, it can't eat anything. I don't even understand why it's like that. But I noticed a lot of the modelers are putting that in these creatures, a secondary mouth. So I don't know. Maybe they're just hungry and need to find somewhere to go to eat. But I have to let a few of these things dry before I keep touching it. But it's all good. Works out pretty good. And I wish I had more time, Charles, to do a lot of reading, but between work and I help out with my grandkids, and I just do things in general. Or sitting like tonight, I'll do this, then I'm going to go do a family dinner, and I'll come back, walk the dog, then it's time to get a shower, and then it's getting close to bedtime, so I'll have a little bit more time to paint. But I don't generally have hours and hours to sit down or a day to do all the painting. Um, but I have met quite a few nice people that have been very good to meet. And the channels I follow, I'd say check them out if you want. That I'm subscribed to, they're all really cool. They're all really nice people, very helpful, and um, yeah, so it all works out. It really does. But like Necromunda, that's one of the ones we're getting ready to do now. So I got the book for that called the Book of Judgment. But it's there's sometimes the rules go they're crazy, like in depth. And this you can do a lot with this. It's like, oh, there's an RPG kind of element where you can level your characters up, and then you're just, you know, beating others, killing others. It's just war. And then there's other systems that are more complex. So to me, a system that's simpler is easier to get other people into playing, and just generally more fun. Something that's easier to do. I guess I can. I'll find a color for that. That'll work. But there we go. It's getting done. Getting done. Oh. Well, Charles, I'm glad you joined. And oh my goodness, Charles, I'm gonna put this up there. You have 283 games. So that is a ton. Do you have time to play them all? 19 miniature rule sets. Oof. See, this is where I would get lost, is the rule sets. If you can do that, that's absolutely amazing, and more power to you. Conflict games. Yeah, I like the conflict games more so. I'm more into those types of games. Just like if I was doing video games, I did a lot of first-person shooters or the war games like Battlefield or Call of Duty, things like that. That's more my game style, my gameplay. Um, but that's quite a few games to have. I don't have nearly that many. But I have learned that in order to be able to enjoy them throughout the year, I've had to tone it down, and it's hard because we're like in the golden age of gaming, man. I mean, there's just tons of tabletop stuff, and it's just more and more and more. You can't even keep up with this stuff and Kickstarters and all these games coming out. So it's like it boils down to money and what are you gonna do. So for me, like the Warhammer stuff, we're not doing very much of that. We do very little. Mostly we do kill team. Although I have enough Warhammer to throw down a decent fight, but our groups kind of went from Warhammer to kill team towards Necromunda. Me and Keegan are still going to do the kill team, and then of course we like our armor battles, like tanks, Team Yankee, if you've heard of that, and the Flames of War. You know, I got the Germans, he's got the Americans of World War II. We do a lot of World War II gaming. That seems to be pretty popular in general anyways, but it was just a cool time in history as far as war goes. Not that war is good, just these people went out and they fought, and they did the best they could with what they had, and it was just an interesting time in history. So that and that back towards like Napoleonic stuff. Of course, you got the Civil War, you got medieval lore, you got all sorts of them. But conflict is good. I got two naval games. One is Oak and Iron, which is fun, and the other is Sails of Glory. And that was made by Ares Games, who did Wings of Glory. Wings of Glory is very simple um, dogfighting World War One game and World War Two era. They have, and they also put out Tripods of Triplanes, which is kind of like a take on War of the Worlds, but you're fighting these Martian invaders with World War One era planes. So it's pretty cool. But some of these are easy, like Wings of Glory. I like that game hugely because it's very simple, but you can expand it to get very detailed. So people that go, "Oh, that's too simple for me," then if they actually get it, look at it, you can go even further with it to where it gets very complicated. Engine problems, electrical problems, fire, pilot problems. But it just expands. But if you're also going to bring somebody into the game, it's a very good game because it's very simple, very simple. And some of our um, conflict games, they just make more of it than what needs to be, in my opinion. And lots of people say the same thing. You have too complicated of a rule system sometimes, to figure out what you're going to do. And um, those I try to avoid bringing people into the gaming hobby with those because it's just too much. But other than that, Charles, I'm glad you showed up. I have to get running because I've got a family dinner thing to do here. But I'm glad you showed up. Feel free to, if you ever want to get on, I'll send you a link in the chat. If you got a laptop or a camera set up, you want to get on and show off some of your games, by all means do it because we certainly don't know them all. And we're out here to game and meet other gamers and learn too. And that's a lot of what we do. So you're absolutely more than welcome to come on anytime. This thing will put the 5 cameras up there. So um, you can do pretty much what you want with it. And you've got a lot of games. It'd be interesting to see the games that you have and stuff. But what you got there? You got, yeah. See, I'm with you on wanting to put my figures out painted. Now I'll play against people unpainted figures the same. I'm not against that. That don't stop me from gaming whatsoever. However, I just personally like to do that. Okay, and so GHQ Micro Minis, yeah. So I got those guys too. There's my little Panthers. I call them the baby tanks. They were doing a special where it was like, I think it was a whole bunch of German ones from World War II, the Americans, the Japanese, the Russians. I know it was those 4. I think I got like 6 little clear plastic cases with all this armor in it. And it was like half sale like 2 years ago. It was like $35, which now would be over 100. So blister packs, yeah. I'm sure you still have some in blister packs, yeah. They may as well keep them there until you're ready to take them out and paint them. But those are cool. The 6mm scale is pretty neat. I don't have anybody locally to play that against, but I have tanks that I've painted up, and I could throw down a skirmish game. I guess I'd have to do it myself. But the rules for that, I'm not quite familiar with. I got the tanks because I thought, wow, I like tanks in general. I play World of Tanks, Gale Force 9 tanks, Team Yankees, mostly tanks with some helicopters and troops and stuff. So, okay, turn by turn, middle of the game, video show. Yeah, that's a good way to do it too. Well, hello, Mitos. How are you, sir? I was just talking to Charles here. He's new to our chat, jumping in. He does quite a bit of gaming too. He even does 6mm gaming, so that's pretty cool. And I was just getting ready to wind it up because I'm I'm doing a family dinner tonight, so I was getting ready to hop off, but um, the armor stuff there, Charles, is a lot of what we do, and 15 millimeters of general scale for that. Of course, the other stuff like Mythos, I was painting. Mythos just showed up, so I'm getting the Abomination painted, sir, for Invader, and yeah, I'm gonna try to have a good dinner there, Mythos, and I'll send you some pictures of this Abomination I was doing. And Charles, it was really nice to talk to you. I do have to cut it short though a little. Normally I'm on for about 2 hours or more. I'll just hang on until people are tired and they're done talking. But I'm glad you came by, Mythos. Thank you. Um, I appreciate you guys all coming by. Yeah, it very much is appreciated. But I'm gonna go ahead and sign off here. Charles, I hope you come back on again, sir, and fill us in on some more of that stuff because not all of us are familiar with all those kinds of rules. And you've got a lot of knowledge if you've got that many rule sets, so it would be cool to have you on. So, Mythos, you and your family have a good evening, and the rest of you, I appreciate it. I'm sorry I got to end the stream, but I do got to go. I'll be back next Sunday at 4 p.m. Central. If you could like this video, I'll leave a comment. I would appreciate it. Thank you, guys.